Very few.
Not early, huh?
Is it worth the trouble? And all that kind of stuff. So,
Good evening.
I think I'm going to pass.
How's Mike tonight?
It's a good thought. It's a great thought.
I got another load, so.
By the way,
Oh, right.
when I was looking at your antenna,
Well,
you know why I was confused? I thought your mast was aluminum. It has to be fiberglass.
Probably the water like
Anyway,
probably from Molly, yeah.
of course, this club had their parks on the air.
Right.
They had a reasonable little turnout.
Yeah.
It was an effective
And,
activity.
and somebody was just responsible for bringing the gear and it was taken care of.
Well, somebody brought everything.
Right,
He
yeah,
brought
that
the
was mine.
antenna
Yeah.
and the
Yeah, he brought, so I said, he brought the
cooked the
station.
broths and all that stuff.
Oh, the whole thing, yeah.
And we have a club whose current size right now is 31 people.
This one.
This one.
Yeah, well, I was thinking River City.
Now, I understand,
Yeah, okay.
but this one's got 31 people.
Right.
And when we have 6 or 7 people showed up at
Yeah.
our events,
We had
20%.
11 to 10 people there.
So we,
Yeah.
well, then that's
that's
4%.
Yeah.
10% would be
Oh,
3.
that's pretty good.
It's like 30%.
Yeah, a 30% turnout.
Oh,
So-
cow.
So it's just a difference in activity
Yeah.
and interest. You know, the River City Club is primarily a repeater club.
Yeah, and to be entertained at the meetings,
water.
If they show,
if they come. Yeah.
but it's primarily a repeater
Ah, yes.
club. I don't think you get much play.
And
It doesn't use that
since
heat.
I haven't been.
Right.
I don't think I've been there
Absolutely.
since then.
Look at you, you got a book, you got notes in there?
Oh, boy.
Oh, because if you can't remember anything, you can.
Oh, I know how that is.
yeah.
I forgot how to do that.
Yeah.
And you gotta remember where you wrote it.
Did you find my files?
Haven't looked for them yet.
Oh,
There's that.
Okay, then,
And a little birdie said my dues were due, so
Ron sent one.
All right. Okay.
I gotta go online and see if I can do it PayPal and be done with it.
I think mine set up a dues were due.
Yeah, we all got a notice.
I don't know
think
what
we all
happened.
got
I don't
it.
know
It
what
goes
happened.
automatic now.
I don't know what happened to the
and
notice.
then there's
Hopefully they'll send me a second.
dues.
Yeah, I remember.
But if you wanna do what he did or bring in a check, that's okay too.
Did he give you money?
Yeah.
I really want to try to do the PayPal thing.
Okay.
We can do that.
What's our dues,
See how
20
much
bucks?
it's $20.
Yeah.
There, I don't have to do it.
That's like a quarter
Right,
of a
right,
tank
my
of
call sign on
gasoline.
the money.
Yeah.
That's not even a quarter of a tank of gasoline. That's a fifth of a tank of
Keep
gasoline.
the, tradition, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know your vertical dipole design? I did one for 10 meters
Yeah.
for the River City gang because the tech guys want to get on 10 meters. And 10 meters has no ground wave of any discernible size.
So your CB, few miles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, how can we get these guys a tower that's up 100 feet?
Hell no. Don't need that.
Helium filled balloons here. So I took a piece of RG-174, took a piece of wire out the top of it, used a little ferrite bead choke, sent that balloon up, coming right out of the chute, worked Georgia, coming right out of the chute, I worked Carroll.
And you fed it with 174 also?
Yeah. It's light enough. That's the key, it has
It's
to be light.
Kind of high loss, but.
Well, a couple of years ago now.
It worked.
It's HF.
It worked. So when I saw your antenna, I thought, God, how's he feeding that mast?
Oh, it's not.
And then on the way home, I got to thinking, it's got to be fiberglass.
This is true.
That's why there was a wire there.
Well, you got to have a wire. You got to have a feed. I was thinking, what the hell's going on here? Give you an idea how sharp I am. It only took me a week to figure that out.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's all right.
But anyhow, that worked like a charm.
Seems like it did.
Yeah, it did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to get on 10 meters, they need a gyrocopter. a little drone.
That would help.
Because they'll stay up about 30 minutes.
Then you need to power the drone
No,
for the coax.
no. That's
Already
great.
powered drone.
Actually, there are.
You can put, you can put 12 volts on the coax. You inject it.
No, it won't drop and be too high.
Oh.
No, there was a guy that did some experiments over in Santa Rosa with drones. And he had a single piece of wire feeding the drone and used the RF signal, rectified the RF signal to power the drone.
Oh.
And it was 470 megahertz, it was 70 centimeters. I mean, this guy is quite an engineer. He was Packard's guy over in Santa Rosa with design spectrum analyzers and all that stuff. He was a pretty savvy guy.
Okay, Mike. Ron sent me one too. You want that in separate checks or all in one?
Separate probably, yeah.
All right. You didn't add this up for me, huh?
I
You
can
make
do
me
that.
work for
I can do that.
it. I'll do that.
It's highly technical stuff.
It is. It is, but.
Hey, guess what? No more political ads.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that great?
Huh?
My emails all of a sudden just disappeared.
For good for what, 2 years?
Well, for a while. I'm just so glad it's over with.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not terribly thrilled with what happened, but it's over.
But it happened and the
Yeah.
cities didn't burn up.
No, we're still here. Yeah.
It's early.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
We have no idea what's coming.
Where's next summer? You'll be out
You
for
can move to LA.
Yeah, like that.
My God, talk about fires. Well, they have fires that do a good job, don't they?
No, Camarillo and
Yeah.
Ventura and all that.
80 homes already.
Yeah, I used to work down there.
Used to's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good place to visit.
Good place to be out of.
I don't drive down there anymore.
To where?
Yeah, it's good.
Southern California.
Oh, yeah.
I got one too.
I just
Oh,
refuse.
My daughter moved out of there. I was thrilled.
Yeah.
best thing that ever happened there.
Yeah, I went to Colorado, but further drive, but
Much easier drive
yeah.
and a lot prettier.
Yeah.
What, 2,200 feet? Yeah, I guess you're
Yeah, it was
right.
a good place to be brought up 70 years
More
ago.
like,
Well, yeah, my wife grew up down there, and I guess it was gorgeous too.
I loved it. I mean, you roll down the windows, you hear bees from the orange orchards, and you smell it and everything. In the winter, we'd go out and watch the smudge pots when it was
Yep,
cold
yep,
and
yep.
stuff.
Sounds like Yuba City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chico.
kind of thing, yeah. Used to ride my bike all over the place. A lot of good memories, but they're kind of memories. You go down there and you recognize a little bit of it, but that's a concrete jungle. And it's,
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. The traffic, it actually frightens me anymore.
oh, you were younger then when you were down there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not younger now.
Yeah, you don't even want to deal with it. But then people say the same thing about Sacramento now. I mean,
Oh, yeah, my sister hates
I
it.
moved here in the early 60s, and there wasn't one freeway here.
Oh, I was.
And I moved from Southern California. I hated this place. Wait, we have to go through stop signs just to get through Sacramento? Lights and stuff? It was
Yeah.
so podunk. The
Highway-
radio stations were horrible.
Highway 160 was synchronized at 26 miles
Yeah,
an
something
hour.
like that, yeah. Yeah, it was,
Cowtown,
yeah.
But
it's changed.
downtown was interesting. You had all the Christmas windows in the stores downtown.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was Brunner's and Sears, Ransohoff's, IMAG.
Woolworths.
Yeah, Woolworths.
Hi. How do you
Oh.
do?
I have a gift package for you.
Sears and Monkey Woods down there.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
And go cruise.
funny looking
K Street.
chiclet.
K Street, you'd go down K Street and back up J Street.
Yeah.
High power capacitors.
Oh, Oh, I remember K Street used to be.
The thousand
One way.
is,
Oh, yeah,
Short
they were all
leg.
one-way alternate.
should get you done.
Remember all right?
Yeah, not a little
Yeah.
long.
Train tracks down the middle.
About 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, Deb and I went down to San Francisco. You know, downtown San Francisco, Christmas time,
Oh,
they
it
had
was
the greatest
wonderful.
display.
Yeah.
It's not that way
Oh,
anymore.
no.
Yeah, Macy's, every single window had a wreath
They
in
had
it and stuff.
The Emporium and City of
Unbelievable,
Paris
Oh, yeah.
in San Francisco.
And we don't sound too old.
No.
Oh, I remember when.
I'm a member of a group called SIR, Sons in Retirement. That's all we are. Bunch of old guys.
Patrol guy.
Are you selling stuff, Carol?
No, it's just my ARL display here for people who
She can
want.
take it off her taxes that she can
Yeah, right.
demonstrate.
I'm sure her income from the ARRL is.
Easier to do than work.
Billable hours, right?
Wrong.
Oh. I started working on that little, board. I haven't finished working it yet, but I have the new transistor stuff in there. And,
Are you still piddling around with all that?
oh yeah. Yeah, I worked with at least a dozen people on 5 watts with this thing, and I just absolutely love it.
Pretty work.
Yeah, I have to solder that in there.
Well, while we're passing around stuff, I want to show you.
That's the little driver for the tuned chin there, so
Oh!
puts it up to 5 watts.
Here's how to build yourself an 8-pole filter with hand-carved circuit traces.
Nice.
Very nice.
I can do some whittling.
Now, is the trimmer pot for changing frequency?
No,
Bias.
It's just the bias.
That's the power level.
Oh, okay.
Here,
You
you
go
might
from
like
0 all the way up
Get
to
your
5
eyeballs.
watts.
Ooh.
And accurately adjust the level you
geez.
want.
Take out the
Actually, 15
traces.
volts, you'll get up to 9 watts out of that thing.
Ooh.
So, it makes it things very hot.
That makes it a little warm.
Yeah. So, this is what I'm working on.
Cool.
And, nice capacitors. Oh, this
How
one.
do you make that?
With an X-Acto knife and a machinist caliper.
And this,
I'm glad you can.
Altoids, anyone?
Oh, there you, yeah.
This was from an estate sale.
They're selling tins.
It was a NorCal Keyer,
Oh,
Yeah, yep, I had one of those.
and, it actually does work.
Yes, they work pretty well.
I couldn't hear the thing before I got hearing aids. It's got a little
Good. A little,
piezo
yep, right.
sound in
Yeah.
there.
Oh, there's a speaker or something in there?
It's a piezo buzzer,
Oh, okay.
but it's very, very weak.
Yeah, they're pretty quiet.
Oh, yeah.
I could not hear that before I had my hearing aid.
Well, try me again next week.
Sounds like a good investment. Are you going in? I need to go in.
How do you spell your name, Mike?
M-I-K-E.
Okay.
Pretty smart ass.
You need my last name?
Exactly.
K-A-S-H-U-B-A.
Okay.
It's like it always has been.
Right.
I came across your name.
Uh-oh.
Was it a parole officer?
No. It had something to do with some of the languages that I was studying, and that name came up.
Oh,
Um,
Lithuanian,
Polish.
Polish, Estonian, Latvian,
Yeah.
yeah. Northern
Is
European,
anything like a Republican?
could be.
Could be.
I don't know what any of those parties are
We
anymore.
don't mean anything anyway.
They've kind of,
Kind of melded.
yeah, hard to define them.
Okay. Let's hold on for the roller coaster ride over the next few years.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
We know what that is like.
We've survived this long, fingers crossed.
Well, we survived his first term, so.
Well, he knows more now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, he knows who to put into the bureaucracy, which is a little
Well,
bit
that's the key, when the
strange.
bureaucracy gets
He
bigger.
knows how to get enough money to pay every attorney in the world of high
That's what I mean.
standard.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, same here.
If Ron is not gonna be able to make it, he hurt his back, so he's laying down with a heating
Uh-oh, that's what
down.
happened. Okay, no Ron.
You know, I was talking to him, he said he ran his last marathon at age 78.
Oh, 80, you talking about Ron? 86.
I thought he said 78.
Sounds like my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Who's the other one? No, David, he couldn't run.
Yeah, he was very, very fit.
You'd have to be.
Yeah, he rode that death ride.
He was telling me about that.
Yeah, I got a buddy who does that. He's 68. He managed to do 3 passes out of 5.
Wow.
I will
That's brutal.
never even attempt it.
That is absolutely brutal.
I rode last weekend in that wind.
Oh,
Oh, yes, I love wind on a bicycle.
Yeah, but you're a Vivino. Finished 35 out of the 40 miles. About 11 bottles of wine. But we had gusts at 30 miles an hour.
whoa.
That- that'll kick-
And
That's when you stop.
wind the whole day from 18 to 20 with gusts up to 30.
You did?
Yeah.
That's, you know, I rode bikes a little bit and I discovered that about 17, 18 miles an hour is a lot of effort.
Oh,
That's a lot of effort. I can't imagine a 30-mile wind.
Yeah, most people weren't going that fast. My buddy who does, he just bought a titanium bike and carbon fiber wheels.
Oh, yeah, big dog.
Yeah,
3, 4, 5 grand.
high side of 5.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, custom made.
I was gonna ask you, Phil, how was golf on Wednesday?
You know, it wasn't that bad. I was surprised. And I had a good round.
All right.
I ended up winning, max you can win is 7 points. I won 6.
All right.
Won my flight.
Wind didn't bother you?
Well, it was there.
Yeah,
And,
Wasn't anything like the weekend though.
oh God,
It was
no.
still there.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Oh, we're in a meeting now.
Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, 5 after.
Yeah.
I guess we can call it a meeting now.
Okay.
You're gonna find out that
Yeah. Anybody else comes, they can, oh, here's Ron. We'll admit him too.
when we look around once in a while, make sure that people are, you got to turn the alert on that thing, you know.
For
We've
about
already
12
tried
years,
that
I did
fail.
that Heppies
Yeah.
thing.
Somewhere in Iowa, you
And
know that.
the first year I just did the run. And then the following 11, I did all 3 legs.
Yeah.
And
See,
the
what's
thing
Ron's
about
call?
that- The thing about that
DMX.
is,
Yeah, WB6 DMX.
you don't dare stop training because when it rolls around, you gotta
You
know
lose
a
it
lot of
for like
makeup
2 or
on
3
you
days.
gotta do.
You join it online?
Yeah, we'll
But
go
that's
through it there.
nothing compared to.
Huh?
What's that?
You get a guy online, Ron? For 5?
4 guys online so far.
Oh, okay. We'll leave that.
Yeah. We'll do the self-introduction now.
Did you like the fact I found us a room?
Who everybody is.
Oh.
yes, thank goodness.
And I only gotta wait about another 17 days before I'll find out about SFMARC, which I'm not gonna concern myself with.
What, a permanent room for?
No.
Oh.
They want a minimum of 3 hours cleaning time at $50 an hour
Oh, wow.
to use their room.
Yeah,
Plus the rent?
Oh,
That's
Oh, the rent, I think, is free.
Oh, no,
You guys must be really messy.
$350 a meeting.
It's a bureaucracy, you know, it's just
Well, then you might as well leave it messy, right?
Who is that?
San Juan School District.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't believe it. Well, I can't believe it. I've checked every place you can imagine. In
Huh.
fact, Tuesday, Wednesday, I went around looking at pizza parlors. And the pickings are pretty slim there,
What about
too.
libraries?
That's what we were using currently. But the registration system, reservation system is a nightmare.
Yeah,
Not too many
uses
people
it.
for Rayleigh's, right?
Use it.
Oh, yeah, Rayleigh's is just not large enough to accommodate us.
How many people in a typical
About
meeting?
30 in a meeting for us, around 30. Breakfast, we get 24.
That's about what it was back in the day when we were there.
Meetings were bigger.
Yeah, meetings,
Meetings were bigger, even when we were at the, whatever it is, Smud Building.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Building.
Well, we typically, over the years, it was around 30 people, 30 to 35.
But there were more people alive then. More hams alive.
Is that any way to talk?
Or ones that
Yeah.
could drive at dark.
Don't confuse me with the facts.
Oh, you're bad. You're really, really bad.
Unfortunately, he's right, though.
Yeah, I know about
Oh yeah, look at our website and all the SKs, you know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're both right. But anyway, all right, so let's start with our self-introductions. I'm John, WB6UBK, and we got Chris here.
My name is Chris, I'm AI6U.
Glad you got your name right, no thanks to me.
And I'm Bob, N6PGQ.
Phil, KD6RM.
Mike, K6LQ.
Carol, Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta.
Okay, then we got the online, starting with,
Bob, Kilo Alpha 9, Mike Delta Papa.
start with Bob
Or
then.
not.
Okay. Who else?
Dennis, KG6ZI.
All right, Dennis is there.
Ron Lindgren, WB6DMX.
Nobody sitting here?
All right.
Sure.
So,
David K6CIM.
Right.
All right,
It was coffee too.
Yeah.
You hear all that, Chris?
got 'em all. That's good.
I'd sit next to Bob.
That's 10 total, right? Okay.
Corner mine. Mouth.
So, Chris, I'm having trouble telling you guys apart. You look so much the same, I guess.
Right.
Me and Phil?
Except-
Yeah, right.
Except Chris doesn't wear glasses.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
That's good.
So let's have the minutes of the last meeting.
Well, let me get your minutes of the last meeting here. Come on, you.
Have a cheat sheet.
Let's get your minutes of the last meeting. Oh, come on here, come on.
Oh, Andy's here
And
too.
so you have to admit him.
Andy or Andy?
Yeah, Andy.
Oh, we got it, okay.
Yeah.
Got him. What's it called? Forgot.
Just a minute.
Can't remember his call.
KK6 ZGD.
ZGD. Okay, here we go. Last month we had 10 members check in here. No visitors. Ron, WB6DMX, he talked about POIA on October 26th. It will create Folsom Lake. WB6UBK John, he read the 125 years out of QFT. Bob, I think PGQ showed us a video of his tower antenna installation.
Tower of Power.
Tower of Power, that's right. Ooh. And then Phil, KD6RM, he talked about modifying his Arc 5 receiver.
Ridiculous.
What a project. Show and tell, Carol, KD4, P4MD showed off the HeapKit HD1410. year. There must have been 1 million of those things. And on the radio, we had 46 chickens last month on the air. And we have a trade report, it was the same as the month before, so I don't remember what the numbers were, 7,400 something. Anyway, that's the meeting from last month.
46 chickens?
That's pretty good.
Check-ins. Gotcha.
46, yeah, on the air.
That's pretty
Yeah,
damn
my ears
good.
are okay. Alrighty then. So, treasury report.
We have one.
Alright.
Nothing has changed. The last time we had entries was August. I know we've got some for this month. But as it stands through August, our bank balance was 76,21,31. That's the whole story,
That's all you got to say, huh?
pretty much.
Okay.
Alright. Well, in that case, we'll go into the 100, the 50, and the 25 years ago. 1924, even I don't remember that, but they tell me that the cover is an illustration of a one-control superheterodyne. The article describes a set for broadcast wavelengths, and it's applicable to superheterodyne design for any band.
Thank Mr. Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the ARRL is reaching out to the growing class of amateurs, the one who follows the hobby of radio by increasing QST's newsstand presence with a wider distribution.
I used to go down to the liquor store, Pioneer Liquors,
Yeah,
and buy my ARRL handbook
really.
and my QST.
Really?
I don't think I ever did that. I always got it in the mail.
Well, he had the biggest magazine selection in downtown Reading.
Wow. Back in
Oh, great man.
back in 24?
No.
Nice, nice.
You know, you're supposed to be nice. You're the ARRL designate.
Well, nothing's like it used to be.
You know, I can exchange the word reprobate for designate if you prefer.
Basketball.
All right.
Hey, the Eagles talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then it was a big deal here that 6 BCP communicated with New Zealand. Doesn't say where from, but I guess somewhere on this side of the pond,
Probably Telegram.
probably back east someplace.
Gotta be. What again?
New Zealand, that's
What frequency was that on?
It doesn't say, but they didn't use very high frequency.
pretty low band
Yeah, so
stuff.
probably broadcast stuff.
Long,
160 or
big wavelengths, they called it then, instead of frequencies.
big.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do it.
So probably about where the AM broadcast band is now.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have been back then as well. How long's the AM broadcast band been around?
Good question.
I don't think the frequencies have changed.
No. But 100 years ago, it not even existed, I don't know.
Oh, we can do that.
Sure. I think
KFBK turned 100.
KFBK.
Couple of years ago.
100 years old and
Okay.
22.
Now there's your vertical dipole. KFBK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Didn't have that.
They're on
that's a
phase,
vertical dipole.
and they're half-wave dipoles. But
Yeah.
no full-wave.
The only one or three in the country,
Oh, yeah.
2 in the
Yeah,
country.
they're full-wave dipoles.
Yeah.
Okay, then getting back to 1924, a good radiating system in a small yard is shared a beautiful antenna. Article there.
Oh, yards back then were big compared to what they are now.
Yeah,
You
they
know-
probably were.
Times must have been different because my wife would not describe any antenna as beautiful.
Yeah, well,
Well, she didn't know what
she
she
just doesn't have a
It's still in the
perspective.
box.
If it's still in the box, okay,
At the store.
yeah.
Yes, even better.
Well, you just put them up first is what you do. It's the way to handle it.
Oh, that's what you do, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come in later,
Yeah. So, 1974, I do remember that year. The cover story shows a pattern against the sky that formed the basics of BE4AS's description of an Oscar antenna for 432, 144 megahertz. And BE4AS shares the details of a two-band delta loop array for Oscar.
That's
So, yeah, a bunch of stacked ones probably, for 440 and 220.
No.
No?
220?
I'm sorry.
KDKA
440, 432, and 144.
Back
There you
then,
go.
back then the satellites were 10 meters and 2 meters.
Yeah, they had that too,
I
okay.
remember that.
Yeah.
That first radio station in the world, according to this device, which of course is always true.
Okay, broadcast? You talking?
They imply that, 1909 in San Jose,
Oh, that's right.
although the first big commercial one was KDK in Pittsburgh,
Right.
really commercial, and that was November 2nd, 1920.
Okay.
So,
How long you there for?
104 years ago, a week ago.
Wow.
They were right in there.
FBK. 30 years.
100 years, yeah. And then getting back to 1974, seems to us the QST advertising decision advertising policies and why they've been implemented, which is
Money.
something that's probably an ongoing thing,
Maybe more.
I
I
would think.
graduated from college.
Yeah, 74? Yeah. A new form of long-distance radio propagation is explained in communicating at VHF via the artificial radio aurora. I looked that one up.
Artificial radio
Yeah.
aurora.
Well, they got that volcanic propagation. No.
74, that's a possibility.
It's not April, is it?
I don't understand.
By the way, are you guys hearing all this online? Good.
Yes, I'm still researching when did the AM broadcast ban begin.
Mike answered that.
What was it?
According to the internet, but that doesn't mean.
Well, KDKA was the first big commercial one in 1920.
In 1920?
Yeah.
Big commercial one, but
Yeah,
apparently there were others.
I hadn't heard about that San Jose one.
You said 1909? 1909.
WLS was
That
right.
later became,
Soon after that, yeah.
Wikipedia says that the first person to transmit entertainment broadcasts on a regular schedule appears to have been Charles Doc Harold, who inaugurated weekly programs using an arc transmitter from his wireless school station in San Jose.
the guy.
This was on July 21, 1912.
Wow.
Whatever before that, the guy before him.
Yeah, well, before our 1924, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Silicon Valley. Or at least-
So the world listened as a Northern California DX club operates for 2 days while searching for the island, then rejoiced during their fantastic 29 hours and 43 minutes with 5,535 QSOs.
That's a lot of use.
Yeah.
Without FT8.
How many did you guys end up with?
Well, that's the next section.
Oh.
Can't say?
Yeah, you're jumping the gun, dude.
Yeah, you're jumping the gun, dude.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So William W6BG shares some observations in connection with sending precise bug sending.
Remember that guy?
Precise bug sending, yes.
Yeah.
That's always a hot topic. The bug group, get some of those, somebody asked how many should their bug do before it dies out? like 16 pages of answers to that.
Oh, man.
Those are fighting hybrids.
I know.
My book's better than your book.
Right. But you only need that if you make mistakes, so.
You only need 8 minimum.
It's not that simple when you ask the bug guys.
No.
Okay, November 99. Hey, we're getting closer here, just before the turn of the century.
The point.
Yeah, the turn of the century.
Yeah.
The cover shows DSP-10 transceiver with all its finishing touches. The latest installation of this article, DSP-10, the all-mode 2-meter transceiver using a DSP-IF PC control front panel by Bob Larkin, W7PUA.
Yeah, he's a neat guy.
Is he still with us?
Oh, yes.
Really?
So that was 19, okay, that sounds about right. That's when computers were pretty common.
They were coming in, yeah.
Yeah,
Is this for Y2K, right?
Yeah, the Y2.
yeah. A big disappointment, yeah.
So I was nothing.
Yeah, it's a big nothing. Anyway,
That's okay with me.
yeah, that's true.
You're in rare form tonight. You're doing pretty well.
I didn't need stuff to shut down.
Yeah, I never really believed that. I figured worst case, they'd go out and get some manual switches and turn the stuff.
Can you imagine how much
Within a
money was
day
made
or
on
so.
software updates
Oh,
during
wow.
Y2K?
Yeah.
And they're waking up at midnight and, oh, the refrigerator's still running, I'm going back to sleep.
Almost as much money as putting another digit on the gas pumps.
We might need to add more.
Okay, so, and it seems to us, K1ZZ David, get some perspective on self-regulation in amateur radio service. When we permit that mutual respect, the value of our common resources. All right. And thanks to APRS Innovation Software, the ham ingenuity working Metro pins is becoming a new digital domain.
Micro what?
Metro, P-I-N-G-S, pings.
Metro pain.
Metro pings is becoming the new digital domain.
Is that Meteor Pings? Or Metro?
You're right, Meteor.
Should be
Oh, meteor.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay, that makes more sense.
To become a new digital domain, yeah.
Yeah,
So is that what happened?
I don't know.
Did it become the domain? I don't know.
Must have been a meteorite.
Bouncing off a light ramp.
I want to go back to that 12 bottles of wine.
Oh,
What, 12 bottles of wine?
He was talking about 12 bottles of wine.
Ah, okay.
Stop whining.
Yeah, and then there's an issue on how to run a ham fest. And
There goes that eagle again.
the premiere on radio waves and the ionosphere will help fill in the blanks and start you on a fascinating journey through physics of the ionosphere. We better get out that issue. Keeping track of Oscar, short history of amateur radio's race for space. We'll look at the first steps into space. All right. So, how many went to Pacificon? Oh, good. How many how many on Zoom?
Pacific on Zoom?
No.
No.
How many of the people on Zoom tonight went to Pacificon?
Well, you're kind of breaking up off and on here, John.
Am I?
Did Chris get Andy on the log?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, I know Dennis was there.
Yep, I got 5 of you guys.
Let's see. Dennis, Andy, Ron, Bob, David. Okay.
Yep.
And we got to use a gigantic straight key at Pacificon.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't.
Did you have to use your left foot?
It wasn't that low, but it was fun.
Yeah, that would needed a step ladder to do that for us old folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what was everybody's favorite thing at Pacificon?
Antenna seminar.
What was that about?
Antennas.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
What kind?
How did I know that?
Oh, yeah.
Was Steve presenting?
What did you learn
You
there?
did.
What did you learn, Phil?
I learned that you can build a dipole antenna shaped like steer horns with 9 dB gain.
9 dB gain. Is that DBI or DVD?
DVD.
DVD. The meaningful one.
So it's almost 10 times the efficiency of a regular dipole. That's pretty remarkable.
Did you try it?
Yes. Did you try the experiment?
No, I don't have any steers in my backyard.
Well, you gotta protect it
So-
for that.
So this is a half-wave dipole with the ends.
No, it's not halfway.
What is it?
It's extremely long.
Tell us more.
It's about,
Oh, gotta be.
it's probably about 4 wavelengths.
Oh, four.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like using a 80-meter dipole on 20 meters.
So what the takeoff angle?
I don't think it was defined. I don't
Well, I mean,
think
that's a
he
function
defined
of height, isn't it? Well,
it.
depending
It
on what
would,
axis
it
you're on.
would, absolutely. But again, it's hard to believe you can get that much gain.
Is it 90 degrees for the wire? Or are we
It
just?
comes out
You
this
start, when it gets
So
longer,
you
then
come out,
separate, or
up,
maybe toward the
up.
end.
and out.
What's the axis of the wire? It's not
Vertical.
Oh, so this is the vertical wire.
Well, it's horizontal, vertical,
Oh,
whatever you
oh,
call
Like a
that.
W, sort of.
Like longhorns. Really odd.
Bed in the middle?
I'm sorry?
Bed in the middle, like the traditional dipole?
No. You have to use a very weird feed arrangement. The impedance is 50 ohms, so there's,
You know, it's
I
not
don't
practical,
know,
would it?
I don't know how they fit
It's
it.
monoband?
Yes.
So,
Do you remember the name of the person that presented? Did they publish anything? Is there anything
Steve
online?
Stern, Steve Stern, who was OIK, I think, K6 OIK,
Another one. Kevin.
was the presenter. And he actually produced or presented his PowerPoint slides, which were available to all members in the audience. And I do have that. So if you're really interested, I can get it to you.
so how long is it at 40 meters, for example?
I don't know.
But you did say at
define
least
that.
four wavelengths. or
About
something
4
like that.
wavelengths, as I recall. It's really unusual, but that's a lot of gain. Oh, look at this. There you go. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
And one element,
Right.
Yeah.
One element.
so no phase, well,
No phasing issues, no.
at least parallel to it, probably.
It's just really unusual.
So Kevin's here too, Chris.
No antenna phases.
W6KN.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got 'em.
How many comedians?
No.
Don't know what that was.
I think I may have found an article or a PowerPoint. But this is back from 2021.
I wasn't able to do that.
So it's on the Foothills Amateur Radio Society website. It's called Antennas, the shape of antennas, or the shape of antennas yet to come. But he's got to have something that's more up to date than this, I would think.
I just wouldn't, it's,
Well, again, I've got the presentation.
Pacific time.
Texas Longhorn profile. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind emailing it to me, that would be great.
But they got
It's
members.
really unusual.
Okay.
I don't think you want to build one. It's liable to bellow at you.
Yeah.
The one at Pacific Con.
Yeah.
I never saw
Okay,
that
so
key. Where was
What did you
it?
say, 9 dBs gain?
About 9 dB gain.
Now, what exactly does that mean?
That means that the pattern, because you know, in order to have gain in an antenna, you have to compress it.
Right.
So
So there's more energy going in one direction and less going in another direction.
right, that's what gain really means. You compress the pattern,
Right.
and so there's more
It doesn't generate
directivity.
power.
There's more directivity with that design. Now, I can't remember if he showed the pattern or if he did not show the pattern. I'll look it up, send it to Bob, and take a full look. But it was interesting. I thought that was.
So that's,
You never-
Yeah.
yeah, so that's bidirectional because it's a dipole.
Well, I'm not sure of that either.
Okay, that can't be, in a dipole.
But direction, two directions, but that's what I'm saying, like. when you
Well,
can't-
remember, there's some strange angles that come off of this thing. It comes off,
Okay, yeah.
so I don't know how this whole thing is configured.
Is it a PowerPoint or is it a paper?
It's PowerPoint slides.
Oh, okay.
What are the guidelines on reproducing that? For example, if you put it on the club's website.
Right, is it,
No,
okay,
no, it's,
now that I'm buying it, okay.
Not even
this
credit
guy,
lines or anything like that.
this guy is a PhD. He worked for Grumman for decades. And he's, an IEEE fellow guy kind of thing, so everything is out, he's protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't dare do anything like that. But he might release it one of these. I mean, he's retired now.
Hey, Kevin, would you mind muting yourself?
Sure. I thought I was.
We're in conversations, guys. Yeah.
Must not be Kevin, it must not be David.
Karen?
How you going, guys? How you going? We get in trouble for a couple of shots
Interesting.
It's like a mic and a new switch shot.
Okay,
So anybody else have any favorite parts of Pacificon?
yes,
Carol
Pacificon.
Key?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know Carol has some opinions of the best presentation at
Oh,
Pacificon.
I didn't really see very many of them.
Ah,
I was
Pretty down.
other stuff.
working, yeah.
I enjoyed the YL forum. It was interesting.
I was going to say that was, I enjoyed the YL forum as well.
Didn't go.
Any great vendors there? Someone said that ICOM was not
ICOM
there.
was not there.
It was kind of sparse, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy Bud Drummond wasn't there.
No.
But I don't think he does that anymore. I think his
No.
son,
Yeah,
The son wasn't there either. There
Chris,
was nobody involved.
yeah, nobody Paul.
Hmm.
Now Dennis was there all three days.
Eloquent.
Are you with us, Dennis?
Telegraph was there,
was there,
Flex was there.
Anything new from them?
They
They
were-
have a new little.
They were
portable rig.
demonstrating their
Not seeing Dennis at all.
K40, which is almost out. It's just
There's Dennis.
basically the front cover of the radio.
For
You then
remote.
plug into the internet,
Oh,
but it's got all the plugs on it for, your keyer and your straight key and everything you can plug in the back of the radio, except it doesn't have the amplifier system or any coax attachments. And,
As in, you don't need an antenna?
well, you need an
You need
antenna
internet
somewhere,
connection to the
remote.
real radio.
Ah,
Designs that you put the radio on somebody's mountaintop and,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So it's a remote thing.
yeah.
And then they are developing and was demonstrating that they don't have it for sale, what they call a V pod. They have their own K pod, which is the, external VFO and some memory buttons. The V pod is going to have has a little speaker in it, but an input for your key and input for your microphone and all that kind of stuff. And you plug a USB cord into a computer. The computer software looks like the front of the radio, and you can control that other remote thing.
Just an interface.
So you could run my radio from here.
Cool. Could we get you
That's
to
all
serve
open.
coffee at the same time?
No.
No.
Everybody
On one
sits
side?
in one direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deb doesn't make coffee for me either.
What else?
Yeah.
You know, one side, I have to make my own damn lunch too. Can you believe that?
Life's tough. It's tough all
51
over.
years and she's still that way.
I can't think of any real new products that were there.
Battery guys were there buying one out.
Yeah, they were there.
By battery guys.
The guy that makes those
Is this what I'm
blue
talking
site
about?
That's the guy.
lighted signs were there. That's kind of nice. They were cute.
Yeah, there he is.
The guy in the narrow hallway that has all the
That's
parts.
the guy.
All the parts, yeah,
40
they were
years.
Yeah.
Is that his sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gordon West was there honking his horn. for a
Send it to
little while.
Bob.
He'd go up and down the aisle.
So you want to see a PDF? That one? The 20 meter DX antenna?
That's Steve's presentation.
Mhm.
Yep.
You were there, right?
I didn't go for it.
Oh,
I know
Well, you missed out.
I know. But I also didn't pay for a hotel room.
are we being recorded up there?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a good film.
What was your favorite activity, John?
I'm gonna save that for the April meeting.
Wow. That's confidence.
Okay, so, that's, Dennis, I know there was 3 days, but he's taking a little break, it looks like. Probably doing 2 things at once.
Is somebody showing up?
What's that?
Somebody making the showing up on Zoom or what?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Somebody showing up on Zoom?
Not at
Any
the
new
moment, no.
Oh,
That was somebody else's
no.
sounds there. Okay. Well, what's on your, what's on this
Flash drive.
flash drive, yeah?
Oh, yeah, hold on. Oh, that's,
Plug it in and find PowerPoint files.
Okay, well, what's it on? What's the subject?
It's a surprise.
surprise, oh.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Maybe it's.
So you ready to talk
Oh,
about
I'm ready. You remember what I named the file when you bring it up? I'll tell you. It's only 5 or 6 slides. But I think you'll be surprised.
They don't approve Arc 5?
Arc 6.
Starting again.
All right.
Get yourself up. Where's your flash drive?
Not my flash drive.
No way.
All right, I don't see it yet.
Should you plug it in?
Yeah, oh, hell.
Have the button.
There we go.
There it goes.
All right. Drive D. This one, PowerPoint files. And then scroll on down. And go back.
Y nano VNA, what's the subject?
Going up, going up. Keep going up. Up, 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 up.
PowerPoint files?
Click on that one. And then click on that one.
The top one.
PowerPoint files again?
Yeah. And then
Thing's buried pretty deep here.
example of shielding effects. And then when that comes up,
People call it down in the Cajun country, they call it gators and taters.
click on
Alligators.
slideshow, wherever slideshow up here. And then where's start, right?
Go to the right, John.
Right there. Start.
A little more. One more.
There you go. There you go.
Now, have you shared, can they see it? Have you shared the screen?
Oh, yeah, good point. Hang on a minute.
Yeah,
Screen's not shared. Skip full screen here. Now we need to go down here.
Mr. Zoom somewhere.
It's in the Zoom function.
Share. And then click on that one.
Then share in the middle, yeah.
And then go on back up to the top. Yeah, scroll up here. So, there you go, and click on this.
Yeah, you still have to share your.
Oh, hit start. Just hit start. Start from first slide. There you go. We're all set. Okay. So I want you to know that these filters that I'm going to show you were all made with 10 crystals, and the crystals cost, 8 crystals, and the crystals cost 10 cents. Okay? So go up one slide. And this is the first filter I made. You pass that around. Pretty crude. We call that a bird's nest style of construction.
As long as it works.
And it does. So if you pass that around and click to the next slide, I'll show you how well it works.
Okay, there you go.
Wow, look at this. Each one of these is 10 dB, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 dB down is the bottom of the skirts. That's pretty impressive for 80 cents.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Right? And if you look at this, we're not getting quite enough. I wonder if we can get rid of this taskbar. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's even better. Now you got to go back.
Go back to where?
Go back 2 slides. Use the other mouse button. One more. Rather than double the time. Next slide. Try next slide. next slide. That one, try that.
These crystals kind of look like the dead bug construction where you put.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, there you go.
Yeah.
Start, go back to start. Okay, and then click it once. So that's the filter. Click it one more time. And this is amazing. This curve is what goes through the filter. It's pass-through, which they call the S21 parameters. And this dip is the SWR. So at frequency, the SWR right here is 1.201. Now, anytime you have a filter, you have to terminate both the input and the output of the filter at the proper distance, or the filter doesn't work worth a crap. Okay. So you can see that this thing does a remarkable job. And then the other thing, you see this blue line, that's called group delay. And what group delay is important for, you ever listen to a signal and it has a ring, it rings?
Yeah.
That's what this group delay does. So this has very little group delay. The amount of delay is constant almost all the way through the pass band. So that's a pretty good filter on a crummy piece of board. Did you see this, Mike?
What frequency is this?
It's 11 megahertz.
Oh, okay.
So one more slide, next slide. So I thought, well, since that works so good, I'll build a real one that's a little tidier looking. And that looks a little tidier. You know, on the top, you got these little crystals. And on the bottom, you can see where I carved out the traces. And these two little transformers are impedance matching transformers. And what they do, the impedance of the filter's about 200 ohms. And so you want to get it down to 50 ohms, which is where they're used in the circuit. So anyhow, there's the filter, little tiny thing. Got the transformers, the type SMA connectors. Looks pretty good. Hit the next slide. Look what happened. At first, when we said had skirts down at minus 80 dB. Look at this. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 dB. There's 30 dB difference between the performance of the filters. So the first one performs 1,000 times better than this one. This one's all neat and pretty, but
That's what you get.
it doesn't work, right? And I still spent 80 cents. So, click it again. Okay, so I decided to do something different. I don't know if you can tell this or not, but there's sockets for these crystals. This is a different board. And so I can try different filters and different crystals by plugging in the one, because the others are soldered in, right? So this one, again, we've got the impedance matching transformers. The crystals are on the top of the board. And if you look at the back of that, you'll see how I carved these traces out. This middle carving, this middle line, is a ground pin that isolates both sides of the crystal. So it's shielding between the two sides of the crystal. And then everything else, of course, has a ground plane. So click it one more time. Wow. We've got our 80 dB back.
Yeah.
Right? And the SWR is spot on. And the group delay is spot on. And it's all due to that little tiny piece of copper that I used as shielding. And that's the whole point of showing you this, is the difference a little bit of shielding can make. It's only 1,000 times better.
Yeah. The capacitive coupling you have there before you have to shield.
So what did you shield what from what?
It's the pins. Let me show you here. You see these? Here's the two crystals, right? But there's cross coupling across those.
Okay.
So by putting this this copper in between. This is the shield, this is one pin, this is the other. Here's this copper
Okay.
shield. That's all the difference I had to make to improve that
Just
performance.
what
the
was the
ground
dis-
pad in
What
between
was the
the two.
distance between them before? An
Two
exact
hundred
amount?
thousands,
Yeah,
200,000.
yeah.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
It is.
So anyway, that's my best story.
What's the insertion loss between
Less than 2 dB for the
Between-
entire filter.
between input and output? 2
Yes.
dB?
Well, it's right up here.
That's incredible.
This is 0 dB right here. And you read what, actually here it's telling me it's minus 0.36, but I hadn't recalibrated. When I recalibrate, it works out right at 2 dB. That's an incredibly efficient filter.
Yes, it is.
80 cents.
So the sockets for the, what was the idea of the sockets? Is that
So I
so
can
you
change
switch
it
them around and see if it made a
No, I
difference?
can do different filter frequencies by changing.
Okay, you
I can
use
just
it
plug in
for
different crystals.
What's the frequency of the crystal?
11.05 megahertz.
So what's the practical use of that frequency?
It's just an item frequency. You can use 9 megahertz or 5 megahertz or 16
I see.
megahertz or whatever you want.
These just happen to be surplus that they were so cheap, right?
They're brand spanking new
Yeah.
from Tata.
Oh, okay.
They're cheap microprocessor crystals.
Okay.
So I bought 100 of them for $10. And then in my network analyzer, I go through and I generate a spreadsheet that lists the parameters for the, you know, a crystal has inductance measured in henries, not microhenries, not millihenries. And the capacitance is in femtofarads. That's 1,000th of a picofarad. So you take all those things and you lay them out in a spreadsheet, and then you can group the crystals. Because I think the widest spread I had in groups, I made up, I think, 6 or 8 groups, was like 40 hertz. That's the widest spread. I had several of them, down around 11, and 14, and 17, and that kind of stuff. So in any event,
I haven't seen that one.
oh, check that out.
That's the latest one,
Yeah.
for the wood ground.
Yep. It's amazing what you can do for nothing.
It is.
1,000 times better performance for one little piece of copper glass. That's my whole story.
What's the bandwidth of the 3 dB?
Oh, this is 2.4 kilohertz. It's a single sideband filter.
Oh, we want a CW filter reader.
They're easier.
Of course.
You can get 400 hertz, 200 hertz, 500 hertz, easier than you can a single sideband filter. Pretty remarkable, huh?
Yeah.
80 cents. And this is the same example I used when I did the nano VNA. I use these very filters to show guys how to make these measurements and stuff. Back to the next one, I'll do some broadcast band filters too. I think I'll use your design. It's a good one.
So the middle pin is grounded?
Yes. But it's not the pin that's the issue. It's the shielding between the two other pins.
I remember
Right,
buying a CW filter for my Heath kit. And it was a lot more expensive than 80 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, they were always close to $100, if not more.
Unless they're Collins,
Oh.
200 crystal filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when 200 was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was my,
Yeah.
It's all cost of mechanical filters anyway.
my brain. Oh, it's over here. Here's my brain.
Oh.
Here's my brain, thank you. I thought you guys might get a kick out of that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
And which analyzer did you use for
I use the DG8 SAQ. Because it's got a function in there to generate all those crystals.
Ah, okay.
In fact, when I first got that network analyzer, I sent a note over to him Tom, anyhow, I sent a note to Tom. I said, you know, is it possible to use these things to measure crystals? And about 2 weeks later, there was a new release that had this utility in there. Not only that, when you use his software, you design a filter and say, I told you that the impedance of this is 200 ohms. When your filter's being evaluated in his software, you can go to the input and the output and you can scroll up and down and he'll generate a transformation network to get the impedance down to 50 ohms on either side. He generates the design and the values for you. I mean, he's got the manual for that DG8 SAQ spectrum or network analyzer. It's 500 pages.
Oh, wow.
It's unbelievable.
So you're not talking about
Thomas Baer.
You're not talking about the nano VNA.
Well, the nano VNA will make these measurements.
They do the same thing?
But they don't have the utility in there to generate that spreadsheet.
Wow, yeah.
Otherwise, you got to record all those numbers.
Yeah.
And you got 100 crystals. That's a lot of numbers. And then you got to sort them. So this thing does all that.
So his software he sells or what?
No, it goes with the spectrum or the network
Oh,
analyzer.
you buy the network analyzer from.
But right now, you can't buy one of his network analyzers. He's out of stock, and he's got to get a new production going. And there's some pieces in there that are now obsolete, and it's like everything else we build. So there's some new stuff coming out. It's about $600 for one of his network analyzers. Nano DNA is $50, $60.
Right.
But it'll make
Amazing what you can do with
those
it.
same measurements. And then I actually have a third network analyzer. I have one that's called an N2PQ. And you see this particular graph goes down to minus 100 dB. That N2PK will go to minus 130 dB. It's accurate down that far. Absolutely amazing.
Well, it's time to break out the refreshments.
Coffee time. When you get a chance, throw that flash drive in my baggie here. I thought you guys might get a kick out of that. 1,000 points
Thanks for
different.
sharing that.
1,000 times.
All right, I know at least one person wants coffee.
I do.
I'll have a decaf,
Okay,
please.
let's get a cap first so I don't lose track.
I'm right to sleep tonight. I'm sensitive.
I don't blame you.
You know, I can drink coffee for however I want, and I can go out like a light.
No, no.
Yeah, I'm the same way, yeah, I'm ready to go, I'm gone.
Of course, I once slept through a mortar attack in Vietnam, so there's something wrong with me.
There is that wrong.
180 dB
It's got to be
caffeine
a
filter.
special purpose I see that's specifically made to keep it there.
Yeah?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, microprocessor.
It's a little cafe, yeah.
You don't have to use a 555 timer and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Those things are awesome.
And then there's a whole instruction manual for the commands you can put in there for memories and all kinds of
Oh,
There's some
brother.
cookies in there.
Pretty cool. That's NorCal QRP Club's
Yeah.
design.
Chris, would you like to try the NorCal Kia?
We're trying to do
Chips and cookies.
That's my little pocket,
Oh, yeah.
paddle. Yeah.
Think we got here.
Oh, I see, you got some
Water here.
Okay. Oh, we got filtered water.
I'm just gonna get all over my fingers.
Yeah,
It's very,
I remember this.
yeah.
Got some in there you can eat?
Yeah, most of it.
That's just the paddle.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, this Altoid spot.
Here's
Here's
what
what
we are here.
the Kia is.
You found something good?
It's like a little,
And that's the speed.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an Altoid can.
There you go. Very handy.
Yeah.
We got it there, we got it.
It's all wires and everything in there.
Oh, yeah. Good board there.
Yeah.
What, you want to put that? 8,005? No?
That's Mike who wants a decaf?
No,
Mike wants the decaf.
I'll have a decaf.
You want another decaf, okay, take that one. Mike,
Oh.
You gotta wait, Mike.
Got battery in here? Nope.
No, the battery's out separate.
Can you buy an electronic filter for 80 cents?
No,
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know how much they charge for their 8-volt filters.
They were
They're not
like
cheap.
$140.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh. Cool.
I was kind of impressed with that group delay thing. That's where filters ring,
Yeah.
and you can measure them right out with that little device.
Sure. Amazing.
Thank you.
Where was that when we needed it?
got more glasses on there.
Which,
Getting rid of the ringing in the filter.
yeah, it's been around a long time. A lot of CW stuff, they use op-amp audio filters,
Oh, yeah, better.
and you get a lot of group delay through those op-amp filters.
Okay. On audio filters?
A lot of group delay.
I don't mind a little
Do
bit.
you wanna try the old NorCal Kia?
You get down to 50 hertz, it's pretty hard without having it ring.
50 hertz.
50 hertz, yeah, that's where you get it down there.
You want to listen to something at 50 hertz?
That's pretty, close
That's
to the edge of what
It's
you
like
can
going to
hear.
Europe, listening to the power grid.
Oh,
Exactly what
yeah,
I am.
yeah.
Hard to hear, it's really low.
Yeah, it's not 60 cycle hum, it's 50 cycle hum.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well,
Or
the
you
Army
get on an
has
airplane
400
at
cycle.
400 cycles.
We have 400 cycle wine, yeah. Who else want a decaf?
I don't
Like,
want to be
You want pollution in it?
Yep.
Come and choose your pollution.
I need palate.
Okay.
Cute.
Now, everybody else is
I
ready.
love your paddles, Carol.
Oh, that paddle?
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
If you have 400 cycle, you don't have the lows and the highs on power. Your power stays, it doesn't, what am I trying to say?
Transformers are so much smaller.
Yeah, the motors are smaller.
Eddy
Everything's
current
smaller.
losses are smaller.
Yeah.
and-
But that sure does wine.
Oh, yeah, and it's hard to get rid of it.
There it is.
On an airplane sometimes when you hear them go on the PA. you
Oh,
can hear that on there.
Hard to get rid
Is
of.
that what they use, 400 cycles?
Yeah. I love these network analyzers. I mean, there's so much you can do with them.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's so cheap now.
Bob Mix is trying to learn how to use his nano VNA.
Yeah, I know. I said, you want some tutoring? He said, well, maybe.
He wants to do it on his own, that's fine, everybody's got their own style.
That's how you learn. That's the one that
That's
sticks
for
with
sure.
you the most.
Sometimes it helps for somebody to get you steered in the right direction.
I started working with these things about 15, 16 years ago. And I just couldn't believe it. All the mystery goes away. I mean, the antenna measurement's the smallest part of it.
Well, you're fortunate to have access to that kind of equipment because
There you go, Chris.
nobody can afford that.
Well, I didn't. The DG8 SAQ is the first one that I had. And I built that from a kit that Thomas Bear put out. In fact, it had a parallel
Want
port
a cookie, Chris?
parallel port interface. And then I added the USB interface to it. And then I bought the second one, which has,
Bob wants regular coffee, right?
Oh, speaking of
I want regular.
that, I had my mini VNA back in 2010. So that's been 14
Yeah,
years.
it's about right. About about the same time frame.
I can't believe that we're that old, I'm sorry.
I hear that.
Well, wasn't that an eye opener for you when you got your hands on one of those? I mean, the things that you could do. There was always black magic before. I mean, you had no idea what was going on. It's terrible. And remember in the days when they had the noise bridge, the receiver noise bridge?
noise bridge.
That was as good as it got. And that was pretty damn ugly.
Get dip meters.
Yeah, grid dip. When I was a kid, if you could get your hands on a grid dip meter, you were next to heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, it's about the only way to tune anything.
Oh, yeah.
Removable coils.
Did I ever tell you my cat detector story?
Cat detector?
Cat detector story? Not long after Deb and I first got married, bought our first house, and we had a cat. And, you know, you have to let the cat in, you let the cat out, blah, blah, blah. We were at some hardware store or something, and I saw these pet doors, you know, they got the little rubber flap, and I thought, God, that'd be great. So we put one in and, you know, taught the cat, stupid cat, we finally taught the cat how to use the pet door. We're in heaven. About 3 o'clock one morning, I get awakened with a cat fight in the kitchen. We only had one cat.
Whoa.
At least you didn't.
So I'm thinking, how am I going to solve this problem? Because, you know, you think about, you know, a transmitter and batteries and I said, God, I can't do that. I got to do something passive.
There's another coffee.
I'll come get it. I got to do something passive. You put it right there.
What's your straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway.
And Bob wants coffee?
No, Bob does not want coffee.
Bob does not want coffee.
So anyway, I get to thinking about it. And I
So everybody's coffeeed up?
Grid dip meters. Because what happens with a grid dip meter is the inductor you're measuring sucks energy out of the oscillator. And you detect that loss of energy. I thought, well, I think I can do something with that. So I took a piece of surgical tubing and I put 4 or 5 turns of, you know, like 22 gig wire, low capacitor on there. Made a perfect cat collar. And then I built a little FET oscillator. And I tied a 555 timer to it. So once you had the detect, it'd hold that solenoid in. And for the solenoid to act as a door latch, it was an old solenoid off an old pinball machine. You know, the arm's up. That's the door latch, and you pull it in, and the cat can come through. It worked like a charm.
Oh, man.
Did the click scare the cat?
The first time, first couple of times.
They'll find your cat control.
Yeah, there you go.
I did that in 1974 or 5.
Been marketed them.
Well, I thought about that, but that's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that. But the cat was detected with a grid dip oscillator.
Well, how close to the coil and do they have to be?
Well, here's the door.
Right.
I built a plywood frame that stuck out about 2 inches outside the door. And I put about 4 or 5 rings of wire around the perimeter. That was the form, the coil form.
Yeah.
Brought the leads inside and that was
So the
it.
cat went through the coil.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very good.
Pretty clever, huh?
Yeah.
For an old guy.
You were
younger then.
I was younger then. Thank God. I'd never survived. My cat detector. I tell people that story and they just shake their head.
So your cat was inviting friends into the house.
No. It was a cowardly cat.
Yeah,
And
Mayor.
when chased, she'd run like hell through that door.
Whoa.
The second cat was on her tail.
Ah.
But the second cat, you'd hear a thud when the second one hit the door. It was pretty cool.
Well, I heard a similar story where the cat was a friendly cat, I guess, had lots of buddies. and the guy got tired of feeding the whole neighborhood. So
Had a herd of cats?
he would sit there next to the door, leave the door open while his buddies came in.
Oh, no.
So sometimes you can't win.
This cat was not smart enough to hold that door open.
Cats are,
Happy to escape.
Have all different personalities, for sure.
Yeah, they do.
yeah, you don't have a cat.
So we're going to
The last
shut
weekend
this
was
down without shutting the whole
the
thing down.
CW sweepstakes contest. We didn't do any operating on that, did we? No. I guess we're gonna put everything into the, bug roundup, pretty much as far as that.
What's that?
The bug roundup, we didn't do the CW sweepstakes, which was last weekend.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
some of the guys did.
Anybody do that?
But it wasn't a club effort.
You're right.
They're gonna do a new Oscar, or what's the deal with that? Like they have it, blew up,
Yeah.
Goes with
Throw
it.
in there.
one with a big, everybody
I
all.
thought you guys might get a kick out of that.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do, like you say.
Or what he-
From a little piece of copper.
Yeah.
It's amazing, it's how well the first egg limit worked.
All right.
Hey,
Is David Cassis still on?
Yeah, David, still.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
oh, hey,
Did you just send out a sign up for, bug roundup?
I did.
oh, last
So,
time.
Mike, I saw you already signed up for 2 slots.
I did.
Yep. And so right away when I saw that you signed up, I logged in and I signed up for 2 slots.
Which ones are you doing?
Oh, right.
I chose the 2 to 4, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon
Okay,
on Saturday and Sunday.
okay, good.
Yeah. And yeah, they're going to fill up pretty fast. I think everybody should have them in your emails.
And now that we have the QSL cards, anybody that sends in a QSL card will get one back in a more prompt manner.
Oh yeah. Well, with $7,600, we can
What's
buy
that?
some stamps.
We got the stamps.
Oh, we already got the
I
stamps.
already did that, yeah.
All right.
So we got another batch of QSL cards?
No, the first batch.
Oh, okay. I thought we were running
100, right?
low on it or something.
I think we got 250.
Yeah. Yeah, so far sent out maybe, I don't remember, 15 or 20 maybe.
Oh, really?
How do I get one?
Got to send one in.
Yeah, we're gonna pick that up now.
Well, what should
Yeah,
we?
it was kind of neat. I
We
sent
can't
out
send
an
one out to
announcement.
everybody we contact on field day.
What you did?
Oh, they have to send you
Oh, we
one.
only done 81.
Right. So we respond to them. And in the past, we were really slow getting back because hadn't got our act together to get the cards yet. But now we have the cards ready to go,
Yeah.
so I can respond back quickly now when everybody said. Now, one guy didn't have any information, and I wound up sending him a blank card. I don't know what it was.
Oh,
He says a self-addressed stamped envelope, but apparently worked somebody on Bug Roundup, thinking that I had a master list, I guess.
So we
Which
filtered
I
it
don't.
oh, you got a call?
So I couldn't figure out what to do with them. So I just sent him a blank card. I don't know.
Good thing I'm-
It works, he can fill in the blank.
Yeah. But,
Well, why not?
yeah.
Speaking of field day, ARL letter was just published today, and they said that they just finally released the field day results.
Oh,
So there's a link to it if you receive the ARL letter. So you can see the standing of the club in relation to everyone else who participated.
Well, this club typically gets pretty well on a field day.
It's not
I
too
know,
hot.
Chris and I were the only ones left all afternoon. It was 106.
That's,
And, yeah,
Yeah.
it was so hot, Chris didn't even want to operate.
Well,
No,
plus,
that's
we got to
pretty
a
hot.
24-hour effort.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've done a full 24 hours.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
wow, yeah. Last time we did that was
And
2019, I think.
it's gotten
Before
hotter.
COVID.
So are you volunteering to host a 24-hour one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
that's a
Just
lot of
checking.
drop board.
Okay.
Just checking.
Well, it was up at the Sierra, in the Sierras, but then nobody would come, so.
Oh,
That's
Winterfield,
a
eh?
blessing, isn't it?
I'm betting. how many
So are you gonna do that again this year? For Winterfield Day?
Next year.
Next year, actually.
Yeah, I have reserved the cabin, or my sister-in-law has allowed me to reserve
Ooh.
for that weekend. And I do have permission to have non-family members there.
Oh, we're family, we're board.
See, last year I was gonna come, but it was a month after I had my knee replacement.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I figured, well, maybe I better not, because I might fall down in the snow or something, split it open. Well, instead, I got guilty about doing nothing for the last month. Went out and swept the patio when it was all wet and slimy. Fell down, split my knee open.
So you did it here.
So I might as well have gone to field day.
Well, better to do it here than there, because that way if you wake up.
I guess I was closer to the ER to get it soaked back up, but
Yeah, that's good.
anyway,
Is that what they had to do, give you some new stitches?
yeah. It didn't hurt anything, fortunately. But it just, well, I got pictures if anybody wants to ruin their coffee, but no point in it.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, really.
I've had knee operation.
Yeah, okay. But this was all sewed up nice, and it looked good
You
and
did a
everything.
good job, huh? Did Willie
Yeah,
get the drawing for you?
Did the slippery thing out there.
Did they use
And,
multicolored threads so there's a pattern? No?
I don't
No
know.
embroidering?
I took pictures of it. I'll have to check
Some
on
ink
it.
on it, and he'd have a fancy tattoo.
Yeah.
I took my dad once to acupuncture for some knee pain. I don't know if you've ever had that experience.
Never did acupuncture for it, but I've had knee pain.
Never had that.
Well, the VA approved him to go to see an acupuncturist. So I went with him, and then they stuck these final needles in the knees, and they stuck these little things on the ends of the needles. They looked like little miniature marshmallows that were smoking.
Yes.
My gosh, they call that.
Did it help?
I have no idea.
What was his reaction?
He takes everything in stride.
It's hard to tell, huh?
So I said, my gosh, it looks like he's roasting marshmallows off the end of these needles. But that's called moxibustion, and it's some kind of a moss or something that they burn, and it releases some kind of an odor. I have no idea how that affects the needle that's in there. But they did that, and I said, wow, that is a strange. I took pictures of it too. It's weird.
Did it work?
Could never get a straight answer from him on what the pain.
I was having horrible back problems. I was training up for Ebbies, and I was riding down the bike trail, and I thought, if I pull with the opposing leg while I push with the other one, I ought to be able to go faster. And I pulled a little too hard, and I wrenched all those muscles in my lower back.
Oh, nice.
Went straight down, crashed right on the trail.
Good concept.
In order to get up, I had to use my bike as a crutch.
Oh, man.
Laid over the handlebars and walked back to where my pickup was parked.
That is serious.
And for 2 weeks, I was going to the chiropractor every day.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't getting any better. And one of my customers suggested this little Japanese guy downtown Old Sacramento. So go see this guy. And so I went in, and you could barely understand what the guy was saying. And it's kind of as you described, the incense and all that, kind of a dirty little place. But the guy put me on the table, and he took both my feet, and he pushed my knees up against my chest, and he went like this with one leg and like this with the other, and I felt my back just snap right into position.
Oh, wow.
Because chiropractors, you know, they lunge the hell out
Oh,
of
they
me.
were going, yeah.
So anyhow, he did that, then he rolled me over, and he took 2 or 3 of those little tiny needles, and he stuck those in my lower back, and he had a little buzz box that pulsed electricity, make your muscles twitch. And I was in there for maybe 15 minutes. And you know what that does? It causes the blood to circulate, and because there's so much muscle activity. I was a new man.
Really?
I couldn't believe it.
After 15 minutes?
This is what they do to his knees. The needles in there, these little
Yeah,
things were smoking, on the end of it. They had wires connected, they were pulsing electricity through the knees too.
well, that guy cured me. I was impressed.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, good.
And there was smoke coming out of those things.
Smoking knees.
It's like, did the frogs and.
And pretty much the same deal. That's exactly what it was. A little silver box, and you could feel the pulses of electricity make the muscles twitch.
This was the box they had connected to the wire.
Ooh, that's a fancy box.
That's the one they had.
Mine was tiny.
Yeah.
About like one of those Altoid tins.
That was the pulsar, the electric pulsar for the acupuncture.
Yeah.
Wow. Ricochet.
Did you get to turn the dials?
No, I didn't want to touch nothing,
Yeah.
Well, you probably,
You tune this circuit, right?
Just like a cat detector.
There you go.
yeah, a catheter.
Almost exactly the same thing.
Low frequency electric pulse treatment machine, that's what the label says there.
I think around about 100 kilohertz, somewhere.
And it's in English.
Long range. Yeah, and Chinese too. Both.
Okay, so who's got the POTA report?
Yeah, I could think of the other.
Michael's in charge of the photo.
Well,
Michael has that.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone here was there. Any questions?
Uh-huh.
Well, how many QSOs?
Hey, Ron, are you on?
Yeah,
It was 53, right?
we had about over 40 QSOs.
43, okay, yeah, I think you, and
You would have had more.
we had,
Ask Michael, he's got all the records.
But he can't read.
you took the book, so I don't have the log,
We gave you a
Call fast and buck.
but,
I worked 32, I know that.
yeah, I worked the first 4 to make
Yeah, I remember that.
sure,
And then Ron worked a couple.
make sure it was working.
Right, Ron worked a couple.
Yes, so we,
Well, you sent out the reverse beacon report.
Oh, yeah, there was the spots that was reverse beacon, both of us.
One of them was over 5,000 miles.
That's what we heard. But those don't count as contact.
Oh, I
That's not a
understand.
contact, yeah.
It means that antenna worked pretty damn well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Carol did them on 10 meters.
No, I didn't do 10 meters. I just did 17 and 15 meters. That's all.
Oh, so
And then you fixed your antenna.
Yeah, maybe fix my loop. Figured out what was wrong.
That's what you get for loaning out your antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, 43 contracts, 15 states, and 2 provinces.
That's pretty darn good.
And that was running about 90 watts from the ICOM 7300. The antenna was, the structural part of it is a MFJ 1917 is the model, which is a 43-foot tall fiberglass, crapey, telescoping pole. And
filled with graphite for the antenna part, right?
What'd you use for bait?
And we were running a vertical dipole, 20 meters, so it was a monoband antenna. And of course, a dipole on 20 meters is right around a little over 32 and a half feet for the CW band.
So did you get that idea from Phil's, hot air balloon or whatever it was?
No,
I think you've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, I've been messing around with them for a while, but
Vertical dipoles are pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
But I meant the part about the, running the coax
The choke.
up and using the choke on the bottom
no,
with the,
it's been around for quite a while. It's not,
Long time.
it's not real.
not a new idea.
No, actually, some of the literature quotes C. Beers doing it very early on.
Oh, they did it for years.
Why
But
not?
but the reason I did it was we were going to be at a public place, a public park,
Mm-hmm.
and verticals are great to use, except, you know, we happen to be at a place where it's the absolute worst ground. You know, it's all tailings. So the conductivity of boulders and cobbles with an interface of air
But the snakes like
is
it.
not very good. We didn't really want to.
You don't get a lot of reflection from it,
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
yeah.
When they talk about good ground, they're talking about conductive ground so you get reflection.
The other half of your antenna, yeah.
Well, not the other half of your
No,
head.
For a quarter wave.
Well, being
No,
next,
it's
Not with a
shield
vertical
the other
dipole.
half.
being next to the
I'm saying
lake,
why we picked this over a quarter wave.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
Oh,
it
okay.
has a horrible ground.
being,
Yeah.
question, next to the lake, you have the water table gonna be pretty high right next to the lake
It's
there.
not too bad, no.
So that
Yeah.
actually adds to the conductivity
Yeah.
of the ground.
Yeah, except it's fresh water. You know, they didn't want
didn't
to
bring
put a
any
bunch of
salt?
bags of salt. People would have got kind of pissed off. Yeah, San Juan water district.
Brackish
you know,
water.
People like that.
Yeah, really.
And of course it gets here, you know, most of your radiation comes out of the center of the dipole anyway. So
Right.
it's a good idea to have that way up in the air. High
High
voltage
current.
points, good to have that up in the air. Good not to have, you know, radials all over the place.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a,
It's a good design. Works well.
it's the first time I've used it in the field. And it ended up working out pretty good. It was actually it was the LMR 240.
There you go.
It's about the size of, RG8, isn't it?
No, about the size of.
58.
More like 58, okay.
Yeah, it's a premium 58 model.
Oh, okay.
Loss,
Yeah.
foil, and,
400? No, that's more like 80.
LMR 400 is more like 8 stuff.
It's got a fairly high velocity factor. It's around
Yeah, I
85.
think it's
Yeah.
82 or something.
We were also underneath a big metal structure, you know, so it was nice to get the antenna up above that, you know, the center of the antenna above that too.
So does the velocity factor make the code come out faster?
Only
It adds
in
about
April.
10 words per minute. to your
Only in
signal.
April.
Only in April, yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Any other questions then?
That was a good event.
So we had looked at doing it at Folsom Lake at what used to be known as Dike 8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And Ron and I were there early in the season. It was really nice, and waves lapping up right next to you. And
nice.
the first place we went, there was no restroom.
And
Of course, now at the end of the season, the water level is right about at the minimum. It's around like 408 feet. So the water is actually about, you know, over 100 meters away from the site. So this place is kind of nice because the water's
It
right
worked
there.
out.
Yeah.
I was impressed with how that went
It was,
together.
Yeah.
yeah, so it was a pretty good location, pretty scenic.
Nice.
Uh,
A lot of birds.
For those of you who looked across the way and saw that little cliff over there, that happens to be a volcanic mud flow. So it's kind of an interesting formation, the Merton Formation. And
You sound like a geologist.
and the lower places, that's actually where the gold is sitting on top of it, because it sits on bedrock and stuff. It's a really interesting geologic area. There's actually granitic stuff just upstream, then metavolcanics right next to that, and then all the auriferous, the gold-bearing gravels all around there as well. So that the original ancestral American River deposit and all that go on there. But some of the bedrock's still there, so that's kind of interesting. And Ron and I got there 6 in the morning because they did not take reservations. And if you remember, there was a big rowing event there also. So
Yeah, you had me
We didn't know
concerned.
about that.
had me very much concerned, because that's why we were out there at 6 o'clock.
Then I'd have to send out an email at 8 o'clock that nobody would read,
Yeah, correct.
saying that we
Yeah.
changed the,
But-
because the way you described it, I was thinking, you know, there'd be wall-to-wall people standing there, you know, you wouldn't get a parking space in 2 miles of the place,
Well, it could have been.
but
I never
didn't
been
turn out that
there
way.
during a big rowing event.
Well,
Yeah.
Didn't turn out
it
that
turned
way.
out perfect.
Yeah, it turned out perfect.
Lots
Yeah, it
of
turned out,
space.
yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
Oh, yeah.
My wife brought the brats out at 11:30, that was
Oh,
kind
they were
of,
fantastic, yeah. Good broth.
and then,
If they taste good, they aren't.
Yeah.
and pretty much everyone here was there, so I brought the banner, but everyone's already seen it.
Right.
So we have to get our money's worth out of it. So we have
Sure.
to use
When's the next one?
TBD. I mean, so we were, the proposed location we were at was Folsom Lake State Recreation Area, which includes
That was the first one.
Black
that was,
Miner Bar,
you know, just kind of thrown together.
includes
Yeah.
Lake Natoma, Willow
And
Creek,
then the next
where
one,
we were, Beals Point, all that kind of stuff. That's all the same
Over there,
place.
yeah, okay.
So if we
this
want
is
to
the
activate the
next
same
one.
place,
What
we
I
can go
tried
to
to do
different
is make it all
locations. if
pretty
we
with
want.
Christmas
looks
coming on
perfect.
one
But I'm
side
very
and the
partial to
capacitor
that
on the other
location.
side.
And we've gone over a whole bunch of different places.
Yeah.
Other
Then I made
parts,
the third one.
So is there any problem with doing the same
Well, the
location
third one, the
again?
crystals
all.
are in sockets.
it just depends
So
on
I can change.
what we want to do.
Just as many points, whatever.
I mean, Sutter's Fort
And on the bottom,
is
you can
legit.
feel where I
State
carved
Capitol
the traces.
is another
Yeah,
location,
nice work.
but you know, you want to mess with
No, that was
California Highway Patrol, try to set up a station there.
This caliber.
Yeah, there's some of the logistics are pretty.
Yeah,
That
that
thing
thing
worked as well as the first time.
Yeah,
And then whoever was on duty the day you went there wouldn't have got the memo.
Long as you get in there.
yeah.
So
I
I always
can breadboard
But state
anything I
parks,
want with that one.
Oh, that's neat.
monuments,
That's neat.
you know, national parks, obviously.
11 May.
But the easy ones around here for the most part.
An odd IF
You
filter.
know, Folsom Lake's kind of,
Frequency,
and the Thomas.
Then it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I think that
You get
location is
in there,
really hard
right?
to beat. I mean, we had
Oh, yeah.
two big picnic tables
Yeah.
already there. We had a cover in case it rained, we
Put the
could still do
fantastic
it.
on it.
It's
2.4
20 or 30 minutes away.
It's pretty convenient for
Most
people.
Yeah.
I guess people were able to afford $10.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 dB insertion laws.
Well, that is the same for Old Sacramento one here.
Yeah, right, what about the stick?
Yeah, I think Old Sacramento may be one also.
The other part of
Yeah,
it.
there was
put
the
tape
time
back on it.
that, we went with,
Yeah,
Michael
The
Loretsky.
tape doctor.
We had permission to
In other
activate,
words,
it was the,
you have a 10K,
Pony
you didn't have a
Express
50K,
anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
That was
All
the
right,
national
I
park
started
site
at
there.
that time, I missed that.
Yeah.
And,
The
we got
skirts,
permission to use the
skirt
Wells
was-
Fargo,
they're almost vertical.
but you need
Oh.
to, you know, post
I mean, it's
information
really,
about
probably
your,
cleared out at the
your
80
club insurance
dB
and all
point.
that, you know, to,
Probably
you
4
know, the
kilohertz
liability to do that. We did that.
That's good.
But right across
Really-
the street
really
from that is the Pony
That's
Express
good.
Park.
Yeah, I was
So that's
really
another
surprised
process.
how well it
I
works.
think it's all part of the same national park.
And the filters type is called quasi
That's an opportunity.
State park.
ripple.
Yeah, yeah.
Ripple, okay.
I,
So there's very little ring.
actually, it was the national park. There was a national park on here, I remember that.
R. Yeah. QER. It's a variation of the cone
And,
filter.
we were celebrating with the terminus of the Pony Express.
Right.
in that
So
place.
parks on the air can be national or state?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah. And you can actually suggest or apply for a particular park, and it could be registered.
Okay.
You know, like the American River Bicycle Trail is not one, but you could make a case for that being
You
one.
could, okay.
But you have to apply for it, get a number and all that kind of stuff. So, but as a general rule, you know, provincial parks, national parks,
They're all set.
state parks and that. I mean,
They're all ready to go.
yeah. I mean, there's something like 29,000 of them on the planet or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just not. I mean, go to the POTA website and do the map of your area. You can just see it. They're all listed. And you can
Oh, there's
pick.
a lot of parts here.
But then you got to figure out, you know, what time of year and what
You know, River
amenities
City
you want.
might end up doing one of these
Okay.
things.
That sounds like fun, do a
Yeah.
combination picnic and all that. I have a question about this particular activation. You know, I wasn't originally planning to bring my KX3 and operate from there, you know, because that run said only 20 meters. But at the last minute, I said, you know, let me throw it in the car, because I haven't used this in a field in a long time, and I want to see how it works. And if there was any problem, I would be ready to shut down if it was causing any interference, and it wasn't causing any interference at all. The little KX3 just puts out 10 watts on the battery, and use a little buddy stick antenna on 17 and 15 meters. And, I'm glad I was able to make a few more contacts for you.
Yeah.
But if I guess other club members want to try and do something like that at the same time, you know, as long as there's no interference, is there any problem with that?
Well, that's a good thing.
I don't see where it would be.
You know.
You need some separation. Some receivers work very well in that environment.
Yeah, some
Oh,
do
yeah.
Those
that.
Elecraft K3s, they're superb.
It's very good.
Oh,
But
yeah,
some of the
that's
other
fine.
ones, they just don't handle that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you another one that's pretty good is that TS590 that I have. It's very good.
Good.
And it's a cheap thing. It's not very expensive at all. But boy, it's got a great front end.
The 7300 is supposed to be notoriously a wide front end.
It's not too good.
And
Yeah, it's not a great
and that's what you're using.
multi-op field day.
Yeah, I think my radio didn't cause problem because I was using low power.
Right.
But there was that problem with the noise blanker that they didn't have for all of the operating time. There was this pulsatile noise from some kind of ignition noise. That
Yeah, it was a strange one.
Yeah, we got it fixed on it.
At the end there, yeah.
Toward the end, it worked out pretty good.
But we can talk about whether it should be a biannual event or quarterly event or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's
I think twice would be good, springtime and fall. That'd be pretty
good weather.
Not too
Fall
hot.
and,
Yeah, it was a perfect day.
Yeah, we really lucked out because we were
Fall and
kind of
spring.
pushing it at the end of October.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way.
Yeah, I could have.
but that was good with that covered.
But well, that's why that
Light there, yeah.
location worked really
Oh,
well.
yeah,
And most of the people that go there to paddle.
Right.
So that lake only allows, they allow motors there, but with a speed limit of 5 miles an hour. So you don't see very many motorboats there. They're all people that paddle down and stuff. So
Right.
you don't have a lot of noise. People don't go there to picnic. So those things, both of those shelters are very seldom popular.
And there was a lot of parking.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
even better.
yeah, there's the paved parking and then the gravel parking where we
So that's
are.
not a picnic table, it's a photo table.
Yeah.
Well, it did both. It did a bit of both.
Covered and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and both of them had two picnic tables
It's a
too.
nice big.
So it worked really good to have radios in one and all the food at the other.
Have you seen
Right,
that?
perfect.
It's POTA Party by the Lake, November 9th. That's this Saturday. The Sierra Football Club is going to be over at Billy Beals Point doing POTA.
Ah, good.
And they're really promoting it. This is a great way to promote the club, to try to get people in on
Great.
There's a lot of traffic at that place.
So, yeah, they're making a big deal about this, you know, POTA Party by the Lake, and they have it all over the social media. And apparently they're going to get a large group going to that thing.
You go up there, Carol?
I don't belong to the Sierra Foothills Club, but
Yeah.
the 9th, it's early. They have a special net that night. It's going to be the Hedy Lamarr net. I guess today is actually Hedy Lamarr's birthday. She would have been 101 years old or something.
Wow.
But, yeah, you know, she was one of the pioneers of sports.
When you get to be 101, are you no longer a YL, you're an OL?
I think that's right.
No, you're always wild.
Yeah, it's just,
How can that be?
It's just the way it is.
it's one of the double standards we're okay with.
I love double standards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that, the YL, the Hedy Lamarr net is going to start at 9 a.m. And they're doing that on Echowind and also on 20 meters high man. I'm sorry, no CW. Maybe we should do a CW net for Hedy Lamarr. What do you think? Anyway, that's the same day, November 9th, I'll be doing that.
Cool.
November 9th.
Yeah. that's,
What else have we got, Mr. President?
I think that's it.
I'm gonna leave you with this, just so you have an official record. And as you get stuff, send it over, I'll start adding new entries.
Okay.
I remember somebody asked me for one of these little band playing cards, and it was over there at the Pagoda, and I said I was completely out of them. Bring them to the meeting, so if you come by the meeting, you can get one. So I'll bring these from now on. They're really cool for when you're out there in the field. Great. Compact.
All righty.
Just go away.
Yes. I know how to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thanks for the coffee.
Where is your
Thanks,
garbage
Fred.
again?
Thanks again for hosting.
That's it.
Blow up that over there, we'll get there.
I'm not that, I almost missed right there.
All right.
Where's your buddy Neil tonight?
He's not feeling well, both he and his wife
many
are under the
crew?
weather.
Ooh, that's
Oh
not
no,
That's
I
not
didn't catch any of those
Well,
viruses.
they went and had a COVID test and didn't
Oh,
have
that's
that.
right. He
good.
asked me
Thank God.
how to get the kits.
Yeah.
Send
They
me-
get the COVID, huh?
That COVID stuff kicked my fanny.
Good night, everyone.
So long.
Good night.